Some toxic people are easy to spot. They insult everyone, start arguments, manipulate people, and drain the energy out of every room they enter. But the most dangerous toxic personalities? They don't look toxic at first. They look charming, funny, confident, even caring. And that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Psychology shows that certain personality patterns can slowly destroy your confidence, relationships, motivation, and even your mental health. The scary part? Many people spend years around toxic personalities before realizing what's actually happening to them. So in this video, we're breaking down 15 toxic personality types you should recognize as early as possible. Some of these people are simply exhausting. Others are emotionally destructive. And one of them is probably already in your life. Let's begin. Manipulators rarely control people directly. Instead, they control people emotionally. They use guilt, pressure, fear, or emotional tricks to get what they want. A manipulator might say things like, "Wow, I guess I'll just do everything myself." Or, "If you really cared about me, you would help." Over time, you stop making decisions for yourself. You start making decisions just to avoid their reactions. That's the trap. Manipulators don't want honest communication. They want control. The attention seeker. Attention seekers need constant validation from other people. If the spotlight moves away from them for even a moment, they feel uncomfortable. So they create drama, exaggerate stories, interrupt conversations, or constantly post online just to get reactions. At first, they may seem funny or entertaining, but after a while, everything becomes emotionally exhausting because every situation somehow turns back into being about them. Always. The passive-aggressive person. Passive-aggressive people rarely say what they actually feel. Instead, they hide anger behind sarcasm, silence, fake kindness, or subtle insults. They might say, "Oh, it's fine," but their behavior clearly says the opposite. Instead of solving problems directly, they create tension indirectly. And that confusion can slowly damage relationships over time because you constantly feel like something is wrong, even when nobody says it out loud. The victim player. No matter what happens, they are always the victim, even when they cause the problem, even when they hurt someone else. Somehow the story always becomes about how badly they were treated. Victim players avoid responsibility by turning sympathy into a shield, and compassionate people often fall into the trap because they genuinely want to help. But eventually you notice something strange. Nothing is ever their fault. Ever. The jealous competitor. Some people secretly turn life into a competition. They compare money, success, relationships, appearance, everything. Instead of feeling inspired by your success, they feel threatened by it. Jealous competitors often disguise envy as jokes or criticism. They may downplay your achievements or suddenly become distant when things go well for you. Because deep down, your happiness reminds them of what they feel they lack. And that jealousy slowly poisons the relationship. But these personality types are only the beginning, because the next ones become far more emotionally dangerous. And honestly, one of the reasons I made this video is because I recently experienced a toxic relationship myself. So if this video helps even one person recognize the warning signs earlier, please support the channel by subscribing and send this video to someone you care about. The gaslighter. Gaslighters make you question your own reality. They deny things they clearly said, rewrite events, twist conversations, and slowly make you doubt your own memory. You might hear phrases like, "That never happened," "You're overreacting," or "You're imagining things." At first, it seems small, but over time, constant gaslighting destroys your confidence in your own thoughts and emotions. And once a person stops trusting themselves, they become much easier to control. The emotional vampire. You know that feeling when someone leaves, and suddenly you feel mentally exhausted? That's what emotional vampires do. They constantly dump stress, negativity, drama, and emotional chaos onto other people. Every conversation becomes about their problems, their pain, their crisis, and eventually you realize something disturbing. You feel worse every time you spend time with them. The scariest part? Emotional vampires often don't even realize they're draining everyone around them. The control freak. Control freaks struggle with uncertainty, so they try to control everything. Your decisions, your schedule, your behavior, sometimes even your emotions. At first, it may look like they're just organized or protective, but slowly their need for control becomes suffocating. They become frustrated when people think independently, because deep down, control gives them a sense of safety. And when they lose that control, their behavior often becomes toxic very quickly. The chronic liar. Some people lie to escape trouble, but chronic liars lie constantly, even when there's no reason to. Small lies, big lies, pointless lies. Over time, you stop knowing what's real and what isn't, and that destroys trust completely. The strange thing is, many chronic liars become so used to lying that they barely notice they're doing it anymore. Their fake reality slowly becomes more comfortable than the truth itself. The drama addict. Drama addicts feel uncomfortable when life becomes peaceful, so they create conflict. They spread rumors, start arguments, overreact to small situations, or turn minor problems into emotional disasters. Chaos gives them stimulation, and without realizing it, they pull everyone around them into emotional instability too. Being around a drama addict feels like living inside a storm. There is always another problem, another fight, another emotional explosion, and eventually, it becomes exhausting. But the next personality types are even more dangerous, because these people don't just create stress, they slowly destroy trust, confidence, and sometimes even your sense of self. The two-faced friend? Two-faced people act completely differently depending on who is around them. To your face, they seem supportive, friendly, loyal, but behind your back, they gossip, mock you, expose your secrets, or quietly damage your reputation. The reason they're so dangerous is simple: you usually trust them, and betrayal always hurts more when it comes from someone who pretended to care about you. By the time you realize who they truly are, the damage is often already done. The user. Users only appear when they need something: your help, your money, your support, your connections. But the moment you need help, suddenly they disappear. These people treat relationships like transactions. They calculate what they can gain from others. And once they stop benefiting from you, they often lose interest completely. A real relationship is built on mutual care, but users only take, rarely give. The bully. Bullies don't always look aggressive. Some use humiliation disguised as jokes. Others use intimidation, insults, or public embarrassment to make themselves feel powerful. Deep down, many bullies are incredibly insecure, so they attack other people to feel stronger. The problem is, constant humiliation slowly changes how people see themselves. Words can damage confidence for years, especially when they come from someone close to you. And that's why emotional bullying can sometimes hurt even more than physical aggression. The narcissist. Narcissists believe the world should revolve around them. They crave admiration, attention, and control. At first, narcissists can seem incredibly charming. Confident people often attract others easily, but over time, the relationship becomes emotionally one-sided. Your feelings matter less, your needs matter less, your problems matter less, because in their mind, they are always the most important person in the room. And criticism? Narcissists often react to criticism with anger, manipulation, or emotional punishment, because protecting their ego becomes more important than protecting the relationship. The destroyer. Some toxic people don't destroy your life all at once. They destroy it slowly, quietly, piece by piece. They destroy your confidence, your motivation, your peace, your self-worth. After enough time around them, you stop feeling like yourself. You become emotionally exhausted. Careful with your words, careful with your choices, careful with your emotions. And that's what makes this type so dangerous. Because sometimes people don't realize they're in a toxic environment until they finally escape it. Toxic people are not always evil. Some are insecure, some are damaged, some learn toxic behavior growing up. But understanding why someone is toxic does not mean you must tolerate their behavior. One of the most important skills in life is learning to recognize toxic patterns before they destroy your peace. Because the people around you shape your emotions, your confidence, your habits, and eventually your future. So protect your energy, protect your mind, and choose carefully who gets access to your life. If you recognized any of these personality types, leave a comment below. And if this video helped you, subscribe for more psychology and human behavior videos.